This video is for entertainment purposes only. None of the information you're about to hear should be considered medical advice, and you should always consult a licensed medical practitioner before embarking on a health or lifestyle change. Well, hello everyone. Hope everyone's having a good week so far. Hopefully you can all hear me all right. This completely new setup that I'm trying to work with on this live stream. I am having some issues with, I'm trying to set up my cell phone as a second camera, but now I'm getting audio come out of that device as well, which I'm just hoping doesn't come through as an echo. So if anyone can let me know if we're having any echoing issues with it. I've got my main camera set up here in the kitchen. So this is something completely new for me. Obviously, I've never done a live stream like this with you guys before. I have seen lots of other creators do this, so I figured I'd give it a try and see what kind of mess we can get into here. So let's see who's in the house tonight. We got P&J's in the house, Scratch and Pete. Good to see you, Pete. Thanks for anyone coming over from Tuber Chats live stream. I don't usually go live on Wednesday nights, but this was this night worked out better for me than Thursday would this week. So here we are. Okay, so we've got, P&J's, we've got 22Q Cat House. Thank you for coming. Creative Beauty Butterfly is in the house. What else we got? Phase Yoda King Naruto Luffy Goku. Thank you for coming. And we've got Air Fry and Auntie here. Who else we got here? Loretta and Jason Off-Grid Journey, fellow Canadians. So good to have you in the house. We got Ron's Keto Cafe here. We got Maitreya, Radical Geeks in the house. Everyone's just saying hi to each other here. So yeah, so if you're not getting an echo, I'll try and work with what it is. I can hear myself coming out of my cell phone behind me, which is a real kind of annoying. Because like I can add, so that's the video for my view from the stove, so I don't have to move this camera around too much. So what are we cooking? For the first time doing this, I didn't want to get into anything too sort of elaborate. Anyone that's watched the channel for a while obviously knows chaffles are going to be part of what we do. We got the Dash Minis out ready to go here, but that'll be secondary. So the first thing I want to do is a meal that I do quite often, just for myself mainly. Just as a one-pan meal, make things nice and easy. It's just basically a ground beef and cheese ground beef, eggs, and cheese frittata. This week we'll add some pepperonis on it to make it sort of like a pizza kind of thing. So yeah, as the first time doing a live stream like this, I wanted to keep things fairly simple. So why don't we get right into it? I can add this in here. So I've got everything out here already. You can see we just got some ground beef that I cooked up earlier. So we're just going to add that to our pan. and we'll just put that on like a medium high heat for now, just to warm it up. Get that reheated. Like I said, I just cooked that earlier when I got home from work. So we'll get that reheated in that pan. The other thing I'm going to do now, because this won't take too long, is I'm going to turn the oven on to a broil setting. Again, I don't know if not every stove or oven's going to have a broil setting, but this is how, just how I like to cook this, because it's nice and quick. Because what we're going to do is we're going to heat up the ground beef, get it going, and then we're going to add the eggs, and that will cook the bottom of the eggs, and then we'll put it in the broiler to finish cooking the eggs, and then we'll add our toppings to it. So like I say, we'll let this warm up a little bit here. Now again, this is just how I typically do this. You can add anything you want to this, really. You can add some mushrooms, make it like a real pizza. You know, you could add sausage to it, lots of different seasoning if you wanted to put Italian seasoning in it. So like I say, this is a recipe that you can 100% make your own. This is just a base, and what I do as a quick thing, just to make a meal, especially if I'm home alone. If my wife's not here, I'll throw this together. And yes, this is something, what you see me make tonight, quite often I'll eat the whole thing as a meal, because that's usually just part of my macros for the day. So I'm just gonna swing that over a bit. So like I say, we'll get that ground beef warmed up. Now, again, you can add lots of different things to it. Sometimes I even put some butter in the pan. You don't need to. It's not going to stick or anything if you have the right kind of pan, obviously. So adding butter is kind of a just to add flavor and fats kind of thing. Oh, what are we saying here? Can't go wrong with anything with eggs, in my opinion. Yep, I go through a lot of eggs in my recipes, obviously. Quite often in the morning, I'll have ground beef and eggs just mixed up together, and that's sort of my breakfast. What else saying here? Frittata recipe is awesome. We have made it 5 times. Cool. That's awesome, guys. So yeah, hopefully everyone's having a good week. That's starting to warm up here. So again, we're not looking to cook the ground beef, again, because I've already browned it earlier. So we're just looking to get the pan up to temperature where we can add the eggs so they start cooking. What are you saying here? Scratch Pete Creative. Okay, Maritza's Yarn and Crafts is saying hi to everyone. We've got Kendra in the house. Good to see you, Kendra. Hope you're having a good day. We're just starting off tonight's live stream with the just a basic frittata, or like, I don't even know if this is technically a frittata. This is just what I like to call it. It doesn't have a crust or anything, so you wouldn't really call it a quiche necessarily. To me, it's just throwing everything in one pan and cooking it up, just making it easy for a quick meal. Like I say, you'll see we'll probably get this mostly done in just over half an hour kind of thing. So it makes it easy, especially if you're, really don't know what you want to make. If you've got leftover anything, you could do this with leftover chicken or leftover steak or any kind of protein. Really, if it came right down to it, you just throw some eggs in a pan and throw it under the broiler till it cooks, and then throw some cheese on it. I know Kendra, Consuming the Goodness, she's got some sort of pizza recipes that have a low carb crust as well. So this is sort of my idea to get all the flavors of a pizza if you want, and you could take, if you had some sugar-free pizza sauce or whatever, you could put that on top. And if you wanted to cook that in, you could. I personally don't do stuff like that with mine, but again, this is just a recipe that you can use and make your own. So this is pretty well warmed up. So what we're going to do, I've got just 6 eggs here, and I've already beaten them up. So we're just going to add that to the pan. And get that all in there. And then that's really, I don't do too much with it. I just like to spread it out a little bit. And then obviously we can add some salt and pepper to it as well. And again, this is all to your taste, whatever you like. So again, we're pretty much done with that until it you start seeing the bubbles come up through the eggs. Then you know that the bottom is pretty much cooked. What do we got going on here? Oh, I'm excited to see how it's going to be. Amazing. Yeah. It's nothing, again, I've said it a million times. My diet is fairly boring overall. It's not super exciting or anything, but I like to be able to take basic recipes like this and turn them into something easy for all of you to try. And then again, like I was saying a few minutes ago, taking something like this and just adding everything that you like to it is my goal, kind of thing. Yeah, won't miss a pizza. I still miss pizza. I've had real pizza for so long, though. I got Dominic in the house. Thanks for coming in, Dominic. I'm glad you made it. We're on a different night this week. Only because I had the house to myself tonight. Again, my wife supports what I do on YouTube here and everything. It's just a little easier for me to do this when I'm home alone. So usually I have at least one night each week or each month, that I'm home, have the house to myself. So I'll try and make this a regular occurrence each month. And, as long as tonight doesn't turn into a complete dumpster fire, so I don't know if you can see it, but there's bubbles starting to come up through the eggs. So to me, that tells me that the bottom's done. So we'll just put that in the oven for now to finish cooking the eggs. And then I'll bring it back out and we'll show you how I finish it off, basically. What else we got here? I'm not big on the pizza sauce either. It makes my hands and feet swell. Yeah. Everybody's got their own tolerances for different things. I don't eat a lot of tomato-based things necessarily. I do eat some of them. I have something that I enjoy that's out there. Just as an example, we've got this G. Hughes's no sugar added ketchup. So this is what I like to use on my eggs when I'm going to have ketchup type things. And then, of course, if anyone watches the channel, which I'm thankful that most of you do that are here, a lot of times I'll add things like this habanero hot sauce to things like the frittata or to my eggs, just to, you know, amp things up a little bit. Pega's in the house. Good to see you. Thank you for coming by. Again, thank you guys for coming by on a different night this week. I was hoping it wouldn't mess things up too bad. That's why I tried to get the information out there a couple of weeks ahead of time so that you could be here, basically. Yep, we'll try and do it once a month. You know, I like doing new things on the channel like this. This right here where I'm standing is basically where I film all of my chaffle recipes, right at the kitchen counter here. I'm hoping that eventually I'll be able to set something up as like a studio sort of filming table in my basement that I can leave set up that does a little better than just sitting here on the counter, but it's a work in progress. I love simple, but I will not giving up pizza. Yeah, and again, that's one of those things. I love pizza too. But even when I went gluten-free years ago and then to keto, there are other options out there. You know, like there's a recipe for a chicken pizza crust, and it's supposedly really good. I've not tried it myself because, again, I'm kind of boring. But if we start doing more live streams like this, I'll try and bring out some more interesting things for you guys to watch. When I made my skillet pizza, I just throw a few sun-dried tomatoes on it. Yep, that would work too, for sure. Hey, Tiffany, how's it going? It's good to see you. Again, hopefully everyone can hear me all right. This is the first night using this new wireless microphone. I wanted to get it so I could sort of move around and still have a microphone. So let's just check this here. So that's basically how quick the eggs cook. So if you look at that there, you can see that the eggs have browned now. So basically they're cooked all the way through. So now what I like to do, what I've got here is a jalapeno and habanero cheese mix. So again, this is just personal preference because I like the spice. So all we're going to do is just add, and this is up to you how much you put on top. You can put more or less. I treat it like a pizza, so I'm gonna cover the thing completely. Sometimes I put some Parmesan on top as well. And then I've got some pepperonis here. We'll just put those on. Again, this is all personal preference too, how many you put on. I've got two more in the bowl here, so I'm not going to put them back in the package. So we'll just add those on. And of course, we want to make sure that we don't grab the handle of the hot pan. So we're going to put that back in to the oven, and we'll let that melt that cheese up. I was here but had to go make ginormous iced coffee. Well, that sounds good. I've got my Pineapple Paradise Zevia here. Everyone's saying hi. It's Kendra saying chicken crust is pretty good. Yeah, and the ground beef crust. Yeah. So yeah, there's lots of different options you can do for low carb crusts. So we've got Veronica in the house. Thank you for coming in. Thanks for letting me know that it's sounding good. Again, this is completely different setup. I've been testing this for 3 days now, and then testing everything off and on again a couple of times this afternoon because I didn't want it to completely fall apart. Cool, thank you. Nice setup. Yeah, it's again, it's going to be a work in progress too. Um, Again, I figured if I was going to do something like this, I want to try and sort of do the best job I can. This camera here that is the main camera is the same camera that I use in my office for my weekly regular live streams. I just unmounted it and brought it up here, and then, like I say, the other shot is just my my cell phone on a stand. Stepped out for a minute. So ground beef, that's scrambled eggs bubble. Then we just put the cheese on top, whatever kind of cheese you like. Cover it with cheese, and then I put some pepperoni on it afterwards and put it back under the broiler just to finish melting the cheese. Karen Wilson's in the house. Thank you for coming in, Karen. Good to see you. What you're making right now looks really good. Yeah, again, it's something that's super simple. We'll just give that a peek, make sure it's not getting too warm, kind of thing. So we're waiting for that to finish. For tonight's chaffle recipe, if I can find it. It's not going to be anything too fancy, but we're going to make some chaffles using some smoked Gouda. It's got a really smoky taste and smell to it. I've not made chaffles using Gouda like this before, so I went ahead and I grated up 2/3 of a cup of that ahead of time. Again, I'm just trying to not spend too much time doing the prep work while I'm live, so we can just enjoy cooking. And this recipe is just going to have 1 egg in it. And then I thought, just for kicks, what we're going to do is we're going to add a little bit of this. Hopefully this comes in there. It's a Redmond's smoked salt. So if anyone, I've talked about Redmond's before. So this is the salt that I use all the time. This is a Redmond's fine salt. I go through enough of it that I just buy it in the bag like this. So once a year or twice a year, they make a smoked salt. This one is a Chef's Blend salt. So it's got a nice smoky scent to it as well. I've got this, and I've got a hickory smoked salt as well. So we're going to add some of that in too. It's smoked Gouda, so we might as well add some more smoke to it. So let's give this a look here. Fog up my glasses, of course. So basically that's what it looks like all done there. The cheese is nice and melted. I'll see if I can get that up there without fogging everything up. So, of course, that's going to be super hot right now. So we'll let that just cool for a minute. And then we'll, like I say, usually if you got a nonstick pan or a cast iron pan or whatever, it'll just slide right out onto a plate. And then you can, this would be a good meal. You could even, technically you could do this in like a Pyrex dish or something too. And then you could let it cool and cut it into squares or whatever. And then you could freeze that or put that in the fridge as a sort of meal prep and like a quick on the go a snack kind of thing. It's a good high protein, healthy fat snack. So what else we got going here? Smoked salt. Yeah, the smoked salt is pretty cool. It you can smell the smoke in it for sure. Okay, I might have to try that tonight in my tiny 8-inch cast iron. Yeah, that would be good. I considered doing it in a smaller pan, but figured I might as well just do it the way that I always do these. Yeah, nice and cheesy. So yeah, it's again, you can add more cheese, you can add less cheese. It's all personal preference. Like I was saying earlier, sometimes I will add uh, the cheese I want, and then I'll put some shredded Parmesan on top as well. That gives it a good extra bit of flavor. Plus, it browns up really nice. So what we'll do here is we'll see if we can get this out onto a plate without making too much of a mess. So like I say, it'll just move around pretty easily. Now we'll get that off to the side, out of the way. So again, that's basically what it looks like, and it's nice and, you know, it's not too thick, but you can see it's got a good substance to it. So again, you could cut that up into, you know, you could feed 2 or 3 people with that, depending on how hungry people are, obviously. But then you could take it and portion it up and sort of put it away as a meal prep kind of thing. I'm just going to let this set aside here for a minute because I don't really feel like burning my mouth right now. What we'll do is we'll get started on the chaffles, and then we'll give that a try in a few minutes when it's cooled down. I'll catch up on the chat here. We got Joe Rickwin96. Thank you for coming in. Another great supporter of the channel. And I'd like to thank everybody that supports this channel and how, you know, how much the channel has grown so much lately. It's all because of you guys and coming out to watch. You know, half the times my live streams are kind of just talking back and forth. I like to bring in guests, and obviously that's why I'm happy to do things like this, because it's a little more interactive. As you can see, we've even got the new merch on tonight. So this is the first time wearing this on camera, which is pretty cool. What do we got here? Raining. Have to put the phone away. We'll watch rest later. Oh, thank you for being here. Anyways, yeah, I hear you. It's been a pretty crappy rainy day here too. After it was so nice yesterday, nice and warm and sunny, and then it just rained all day today. That's what I use for my little skillet pizzas. Yet a little 8-inch cast iron. Yep, that would be awesome. Everyone's talking back and forth here. May need to cook up some bacon too. Absolutely. Everything's better with bacon. And as usual, I don't know what everyone else is like, but I always forget to turn the stove off until I can hear it clicking in the background, and then it reminds me. Yeah, and the nice thing about these kind of frittatas and stuff like that, again, it's unless you leave it in the oven too long and forget about it, it's really pretty hard to mess it up. You're just throwing everything in a pan and melting some cheese, really. Thank you for that. Looks like it's going to be nice size for 2. Yep. Like I was saying at the beginning when I first started making this, so this right here, so it's basically, that was, without getting into specific measurements, because I really don't know, we're probably looking at maybe half a pound of ground beef cooked, and then that was 6 scrambled eggs that I put on there, and then about probably a good heaping, at least a cup of cheese that I put on top, plus the pepperonis and everything. So especially if that's going to be my only meal of the day, then this is something that works good for me to eat just for myself. But yeah, you could definitely split it, cut it up like pizza wedges, and it would definitely feed 2 people. I mean, okay, it has eggs, but hear me out. An over easy egg on top. Again, that's the great thing about things like this, is that you could really, there's lots of things you could put on top. Quite often I get hot banana pepper rings, put them on top, and then put the cheese on and the pepperoni. And so, like I say, I've loaded them right up in the past. Sure is looking good too. Yep. Thanks to Corinne for making this. I'm gonna start representing this kind of stuff more and more with the videos. Like I say, just trying to take the channel and get it a little more professional looking, I guess. Thank you for that, Dominic. Have to run in a couple of minutes, but thanks. Yep. Thank you for coming in. Always another great supporter. Again, so many great supporters here tonight. I'm surprised I haven't burned my house down. I forgot to turn the stove off more often. Yeah. Half the time I get like 3/4 of the way finished eating dinner, and then I'll realize I left the stove on. I don't usually leave burners on. Oven pretty much every time. Barely ever measure anything at all. Yep. I haven't really measured anything either. 2 of the 3 of us living in the condo have OCD, so no ovens. That's a good thing. Runny yolk on top. Yep, that would definitely be good. So this is probably still way too hot, but for the sake of sort of trying it here, again, you can see I don't know if you can see it, the steam that's still coming off of that. In fact, I'm not going to do quite as much as that. So yeah, again, it's ground beef, eggs, cheese, and pepperoni. I think we all know what that tastes like, but that's sort of just to give you an idea of what that meal's about. So what we can do for the second part here, I know this is what y'all came for, is these chaffles, right? So what we'll do is we can probably, we'll keep the phone going. We'll just turn it over here, and right on cue, I can hear a storm just started outside. So we'll try and get this done quickly, because there is definitely a chance that my power is going to go out. So we're just going to get the 1 egg into the bowl here. So I've got the egg here. And then again, this is 2/3 of a cup of shredded Balderson's smoked Gouda. So we'll add that in there. Put that aside. And then we're going to add a few dashes of this smoked salt in there as well, just to add to the smoky flavor, because, why not, right? So we'll grab a fork here and get this all mixed together. Again, I've never made chaffles with Gouda before, so I don't know exactly how they'll turn out, but really there's not too many things I've made chaffles with that didn't actually turn out pretty good. So So what do we got? This is something I can teach the kids to cook during our cooking class too. Yep, for sure. You know, if they're old enough to use the stove and the oven, then by all means it would be good. Yeah, chopping block is great. Yep. Yeah, I like to have something down on the counter just to protect the counter, because the chaffle, like the Dash Minis, don't get too hot by any means, but you know, I have a problem of putting too much in them and they wind up overfilling or overflowing. So I'd rather clean the cutting board than clean the counter. So get those plugged in, get them warming up. What are we saying here? Gouda chaffles are tasty, but it's a softer for eating. Yep. Yeah, it is a softer cheese, so that's always one thing to consider when you're making chaffles. You know, if you wanted it to be crispy, you'd want to add some Parmesan or mozzarella cheese or something to the waffle irons before you put the mixture in. So basically just waiting for the Dash Minis to warm up now, and then we'll get these cooking, because like I say, I'm hearing thunder in the background now, and unfortunately we're in a fairly new subdivision. You know, we don't live out in the country or anything, but we do have the tendency to lose power fairly easily. So if we do lose power, sorry, but hopefully we can get this, get these cooked up and get them finished before that happens, kind of thing. And it may not happen. Who knows? I just know that even when it's windy here, it doesn't even have to be a storm. Just being windy, we'll lose our power. Thank you for that. Yeah. Again, hopefully, I've said it so many times now. I consider what I eat on a daily basis to be fairly, boring and bland, I guess you would say. I do like to add things like, good spicy hot sauce and spicy cheese to things. But I think for the most part, it's fairly not super exciting. But again, that's the nice thing about recipes like this. You could add, the sky's the limit, basically. So these are warmed up here. What did they say? We had a big problem with overfilling the chaffle maker. Doing better. Yeah, that's good. Like the nice thing, if you're just doing a basic recipe with 1 egg and 2/3 of a cup of cheese, if you just evenly distribute it in the Dash Minis, especially if you have 2 of them, then the chances of overfilling it are a little bit less. But again, I still do it too. So just spread that out a little bit there. And then we'll close those up and let them cook away. So yeah, usually 4 minutes or so. And those will be finished. So yeah, hopefully everyone's having a good week so far. Definitely looking forward to the summer getting here. Grass is getting really long. I'm gonna have to mow that in the next couple of days. You know, which is weird. It's one of those summer things that I actually look forward to. I definitely rather do that than shoveling snow, which thankfully we didn't really have to do this year. I had to shovel snow about 3 times this year, I think. So we'll get out our usual slate serving plate here for our chaffles. Oh, we got Monica Lynn in the house. Thank you for coming in. It's good to see you. Another great supporter. No, we've got a super chat. Thank you for that, Pega. I really appreciate that. You know, definitely unnecessarily, but super appreciated the support for the channel. Sort of just so you guys know that any of the support that or any kind of funds that the channel is making right now is basically what I'm going to put towards getting to Keto-Palooza this year. You know, it's not going to pay for the whole thing, but you know, it'll pay for part of it, and I really appreciate that. Keto-Palooza is a good gathering for anyone that's in this lifestyle. It's, you know, 300 plus people with the same goals in mind that you can go meet. You can hear lots of amazing speakers and meet some vendors. So yeah, again, thanks for that. Definitely appreciated. Everyone's saying hi. So our chaffles are still steaming away there, so we'll let them go for a couple more minutes. So Monica, what we are cooking tonight, so the first half of the live stream we made it's like a 1-pan ground beef, eggs, cheese, and pepperoni frittata. That's basically, like I say, it's just a 1-pan meal for, you know, I personally would eat that as a meal for myself, but it could be split up with multiple people. It could feed 2 people. So let's give these a shake here. Give them a couple more seconds. Just wanted to make sure that they didn't stick too bad. They're not too bad. Oh, we got someone new here. Big Family Expedition. Well, thank you for coming by. Everyone saw about your live chat from P&J's. Well, thanks for being here. Definitely appreciate it. We're just hanging out. This is my first sort of live cook along on the channel. Usually I'm just sitting at my desk talking to the camera or talking to a guest. So we figured we'd try and do something new. Hopefully everyone's finding it somewhat entertaining, I guess. You know, we were able to set up the multiple, get the multiple cameras so that I don't have to move this one around just to show you what's going on. So let's open these up, and you can see that they turned out nice and golden brown there. So I'll get that up a little closer for you. So that's a nice color for sure. And there's the other one there, and I can definitely smell the smoked salt and the smoked Gouda in there. So unplug the Dash Minis and get them set aside, and then we'll just move that over there. And again, we'll let those cool down a couple of minutes before I try them and burn my mouth off on those too. So everyone's saying hi here. Thank you for that. Yeah, I love frittatas. You know, again, eggs and cheese and pepperoni and protein. Really can't go wrong. And another super chat from Dominic. Man, that's amazing. Thank you for that. again, I'm going to try and use any of the funds that the channel generates for the next few months. I'm going to put towards going to Ketopalooza and getting more good content of the information that we can get from that event. Like I say, there's lots of good speakers there. You usually have people like Dr. Ken Berry and Kim Howardin, and Joe and Rachel from Crazy Ketos is usually there. I'm going to try and get some better quality coverage of those for you this year. So that's where all of this generosity is going, is getting there. Because for us, it's about it's about an 8-hour drive for us there, which again isn't too big of a deal. The location where the event's held, though, super nice hotel, and not the cheapest hotel in the world, though, that's for sure. Even the discount that we get as part of the event. So everyone's saying hi here. Thank you for that, Kendra. Yeah, P&J is always sharing these out, so it's really amazing. Oh, hopefully you feel better, Monica, and sorry you're not feeling too well. But yeah, it's, to me, things like frittatas and chaffles and all that, that's turned more into my sort of comfort food these days. So why don't we, again, there's the chaffles, got some nice crispy edges on it. So why don't we see what kind of cheese pull we get on this guy? Yeah, not too spectacular, but give this a try. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's definitely smoky. That's basically the number one flavor to that is smoke. Again, I like it. It may not be for everyone. The Gouda really does good. It's fairly crispy on the outside, but the inside is really nice and gooey. So yeah, that's this week's chaffles, that's tonight's chaffles. I'll still try and come up with another recipe for Saturday as well. Let's get caught up here. Yeah, I hope you feel better, Monica. Your very first live cook along. Yeah, well, thank you for that. Thankfully, we haven't really had any super crazy technical issues tonight. I got to figure out the speaker on my cell phone, because you guys might not be hearing it, but I can hear myself talking behind me, and it's really annoying. But nothing crashed so far, fingers crossed. So that's pretty much a win. Thank you for sharing it out. Yeah, if you haven't already, if you can give the live stream a thumbs up, that would be really appreciated. Again, the live streams have been doing really well. I'd like to thank everyone that watched the interview with Paul about living a ketogenic lifestyle with type 1 diabetes. That live stream is now the most watched live stream that I've ever done on the channel, which is amazing, because getting that information out to as many people as possible, I think, is really important. So thanks again for doing that, because again, I know other creators will understand this, and if you maybe you don't, but as a creator, for us, one of the biggest things is the initial sort of interaction with the video when it's a live stream or a premiere, or when it first comes out, because that interaction with the support from everyone that we have in this community is what tells YouTube that it's worth pushing out to more people. And again, this channel for me, I started it because I want to help everyone that's out there. If I can sort of help anybody experience what I've experienced in the last 5 years doing keto and how much it's changed my life, changing one other life ultimately makes it worth it. So, thank you for that. Oh, we got Jesse in the house. Good to see you, Jesse. Thank you for coming by. Another great supporter. She's got does some great content as well. Your thunder just showed up here. Quite a rumble. Supposed to get rain tonight. Yeah, it's weird. As soon as I said, "Oh well, there's a storm going on outside," I haven't heard anything else. So maybe it just blew right over. So here's hoping, right? I always forget to hit the thumbs up. Yeah, so do I. I have to be reminded all the time too. So that's why we do it, Kendra. Pete's great at doing that. He's been responsible for probably 1 million thumbs up out there over the years, but it doesn't hurt to remind people. Again, the support for videos just tells YouTube that it's worth pushing out to more people. So everyone is saying hi here. It's a lot of fun just being here. Thank you. And again, thanks for the super chat. I really do appreciate it. Helping even just one person is totally worth it. Yeah. That's it. Ultimately, that was what my podcast series was about too, is about sharing people's stories so that, because everyone's got a different journey. Everyone's story may help one person with part of their journey. And if I can be that, that vessel that gets that information out there, then, it's worth the work and the sort of questioning whether or not it was worth doing for quite a while. The channel is, as you know, it's grown so quickly lately that it is really turning into something that's, is going to be a passion going forward. So, but it's all because of the support from you guys. We've got a lurker here. Yeah, I hear you, Tiffany. I do it all the time. Good on storms for a while, considering we just went through. Ooh, yeah. Hopefully everyone stayed safe down there. It's that time of year, though, for sure. Chaffle King shirt, and Pete needs a thumbs up. Reminder, King shirt. Yep. Yeah, the whole Chaffle King thing, I don't know. I appreciate every time I hear that. I'm just doing what I have fun doing, and I'm really glad that everyone in the community is enjoying it. It was a great live. Enjoyed watching what you were cooking. Gives me ideas for something new. Well, thank you for being here. I definitely appreciate it. So cool. Well, we're pretty much caught up on the chat here. So that's pretty much it, I guess. Hopefully, it seems like it went all right. So we'll definitely work on coming up with something to make next month for our live cook. And then so for this week, I won't be going live tomorrow night. We'll just stick with tonight as the live stream for this week. But I will put out another video on Saturday. Hopefully to premiere around 7 p.m. Maybe there might be some things going on with the YouTube community this weekend that I'm not sure completely about, but we'll get something out for you this weekend, another chaffle recipe. And yeah, we'll be back live Thursday night next week at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. And I hope to see you all here. Again, thanks for being here. As I always say, keep on thriving, my friends. Have a good night.